Hello, welcome to topic 2, volume of 3D shapes. Again, this topic turns up a lot on foundation and on higher. I will note this topic's quite big. I'm only going to cover a narrow little bit of it here today, so you may want to go on and do a little bit more revision yourself. This also often turns up with lots of more complicated wordy bits, like they might be filling up the prism with water and how long will that take. We're not going to look at that specifically today. We're going to look at making sure you get the first few marks on this question. This topic will range from about 3 to 5 marks per question. But as I said, it can turn up inside other topics, so it can, and with more complicated questions, it can range between 3 and 15 marks overall, depending on how much it turns up. So, volume of the prism. So, the prism, a prism is just any shape where you've got a 2D shape like this rectangle I've drawn, and then there are the diagonal lines leading off and another shape and the rest of the shape at the back. Volume is the one where you're going to multiply. You're going to multiply 3 numbers together in order to get a volume at the end of it. For a volume of a prism, what you're going to do is you're going to identify the 2D shape, which in this case is this L shape here. You're going to work out that blue area that I've just put there, and then you're going to multiply it by the length that goes off at an odd angle. So in this case, that's this 8 centimetres here. So that last thing we're going to multiply is 8, whereas the first little bit here, this is going to be my blue area. Now, if it was just a square or a rectangle, it would be nice and easy. We're just going to multiply 2 numbers. However, when we look at this shape, and I do recommend you draw it, it's got a lot more going on. So this whole line along the bottom here is 20 centimetres. This line here will be the same as this line here, so that will be 5 centimetres. This long one here along the back will be the same as this one, so that bit there will be 14 centimetres. This is 5, so this is 5. So you've got 5 centimetres here. Essentially, I'm hoping we can sort of see this. This is 2 rectangles stuck together. You can split it up however you want. I'm going to choose to split it this way. So in my top little section, I've got 5 centimetres here, and I don't know this length here. But I do know that from here to here is 14 centimetres, and the whole thing's 20. So I would do 20 minus 14 to get 6 centimetres there. So the area here is 6 times 5. You will only ever multiply 2 numbers together when you are working out area. We work out the area in order to then multiply it by the other number to get the volume. So remember, volume is area times depth. On your formula sheet, it would say cross-section times depth, area of cross-section times depth. So 6 times 5 for the red bit, so that's 30 centimetres squared. And then my blue bit down here, I want the length all the way along and that one up. That 14 we've dealt with now, so you can cross it off. We only used it to work out that length there. So this will be 20 times 5. So that will get me 100 centimetres squared, which when I add it up will be 130 centimetres squared. Notice it's centimetres squared, which tells me it's still just volume. So then to work out, sorry, it's still just area. To work out the volume, I will then do 130 centimetres squared times that 8 centimetres, the one that's going off at a bit of a diagonal. 130 times 8, which will be, timesing by 8, you're going to double, so 130, 260, so that'll be times 2, times 4, then I need to double that. So carry the 1, 520, then times 8, I've just got to double that again. 1040 centimetres cubed. As you just saw me working out down there, this can turn up on the non-calculator paper, so be prepared with little strategies like that if you're not already. You're going to probably want to pause here, complete the match question, then play the video to check your answer. Okay. Let's get our answers for the match question. So it's almost identical to start with. We've got this shape here. Now, on my one, I had this length. So I need to look for my little diagonal. That's the 3 here is what you're ultimately going to be multiplying by. So I am going to write up here something times 3 meters. Note this is in meters. Double check all the lengths are in meters. We're good. That is going to be me getting my volume in a second. So again, I'm going to sketch my little L shape. This is 8 meters, 7 meters all along. This length is this length, so this is 6 meters. We've got a little 2 meters, it's already told me here. I'm going to chop it like this. So that 8 goes all the way down. This one I've got along and there, so this will be 2 times 6, which will be 12 meters squared. And then this little box down here goes 7 all the way along, and I don't know the height here, but I do know this bit's 6 and this whole bit is 8. So 8 minus 6, which is 2 meters. This will be 7 times 2, 14 meters squared. Let's add those up. 26 meters squared, and I'm going to do 26 meters squared times 3, which I'm going to do the old-fashioned way, 26 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 2 is 6. Add that one, 78 meters cubed is my final answer. Again, you're going to want to pause the video here and have a go at the check question, and I'll go through that when you're ready. Okay, this is a little bit different. I hope we're spotting that this is not an L shape like we had previously. It's a triangle. The theory is the same. So at the end of the day, we've got this triangle here, and we've got this odd length here that's going off at a funny angle. So I'm going to do a length times 8 meters, and that will get me my volume. But I need to work out the triangle first. So I've got my lovely triangle here, 4, 3 and 5. It's a right angled triangle, we're told that there, so we know we've got a right angle there. So all the units are centimetres, so I have messed up slightly up here. Centimetres. Please note in the GCSE, there will be one question that does not give you units on the answer line, and they will give you 1 mark for not putting the correct units, even if you mess up the entire question. So if I know this is going to be in centimetres cubed, which I do, I might write centimetres cubed straight away on my answer line without worrying about anything else, because then I know I've got a mark. Okay. As I said before, we're only going to multiply 2 numbers to get our area. Numbers that you multiply, you might remember from here, they have to be at right angles. So the 5 is actually a decoy. We can ignore it completely. It's there to mess you up. We want to work out the volume, so we just need the 2 numbers that are at right angles, 3 times 4. However, that would work it out if it was the full rectangle, which this is not. So what I need to do is get my answer and divide it by 2. And you always divide by 2 for triangles. So 3 times 4 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So we've got 6 centimetres squared here. I'm going to pop up here. I've got 6 centimetres squared. 6 times 8 then is 48 centimetres cubed. Again, you may want to pause and move straight on to the practice questions, or have a go at the challenge first. I'll give you the answer to that shortly. Okay, for the challenge question, this is a little bit spicier. I think we can all see at the end, I've even got a little arrow here to help you, we're going to be multiplying by 3. So I'm going to do something times 3 centimetres, and that will give me my volume. But working out the something is going to be a little bit more complicated. Now, I've got this shape here, like this. This is 4. This whole length here is 6. This little height here is 1. And this is 2. And there's a diagonal 5 that we're going to ignore, because as we know, those diagonals are just there to mess with us. So we can cross off any diagonal length. They're not for us, unless we're looking at questions involving Pythagoras, which I am not looking at today. So here I can see I'm going to draw a little box there, because now I've got a nice little rectangle. This will be 2 times 1. I'm then going to draw a nice little box there. I've got now a little rectangle here. This length is going to be 6 minus 2, so 4. So this will be 4 times 1 for that height. This whole length is 4. So this little length here will be 4 minus 1, which is 3. So this triangle will be 3 times 4, and then divide your answer by 2. So that will be 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. That gives me 12 centimetres squared. Pop that back up here, 12 centimetres squared. That will be 36 centimetres cubed. Thank you very much.